What's good? What's good? It's your man Kill for TillDeathInfo.com, back for another week. We took a week off last week, just a lot going on with me and Raj, but good things, but just need to take that little break for a minute, get your mind right. But we're back. We've been dealing with the 7 attributes that you should have in order to get married. A quick rundown. Number 1 was you're not willing to put someone else's needs before your own. So, you're not in marriage. You have to put your spouse first. That's the whole point of it. You were putting yourself first when you were single. So it's kind of like that just doesn't work with marriage. You gotta be willing to put someone else's needs before your own. Number 2 was you are easily offended or you hold grudges. They're not in any way saying that, if someone did something to you, you can't be hurt by it or offended by it. But, we have to try to find a way to move past that. And then there are people who just, hold grudges that just, keep it like a bank account, like what you did to me all these years. And so they can always throw it up in your face, and that's not going to make for no good marriage. So number 3 is you're an abusive person. That could be anything, physical, mental, whatever. You're just abusive. Number 4 is you and your spouse, or you or the person you're thinking about getting married to, don't have the same visions, the same beliefs system. Y'all just aren't seeing eye to eye in those areas. Number 5 is you have an unresolved addiction. That addiction can be anything from drinking to drugs, just anything that you can't control. Eating, shopping, pornography. There's so many addictions that are out there. And again, it's just about trying to look at it as it's an addiction. And if you are a spouse of someone who does have an addiction, just seeing how you can hold that person down when trying to get past their addiction. So we're on week 6. And week 6 is your career is the number 1 thing in your life. Your family is not number 1. God is not number 1. It's your career. And we could start with so many different places to whereas, that's just not going to work. If God isn't number 1 in your life right there, me being a believer, I just feel like that has to be a number 1. Nothing can come before God, and your family being number 2. And anything that falls between those two, I just can't see it. But I know a lot of people who do have their job as being the number 1 priority in their life. It's like, whatever I gotta do to climb that corporate ladder. And I've had these discussions with some of my peoples, and they've said, well, Kill, what's wrong with that, And I want to be able to provide for my family, and I want to be able to have nice things. And I don't think anything is wrong with that. But if your family suffers and your relationship with God suffers at the hand of it, then what's it all for? You'll have a big house, but it won't be no love in that house. You'll have, all these accomplishments and all this money in the bank, but you won't be happy, So then the scripture that they took you to talk about that was Philippians 2:3, which is do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility, considering others better than yourself. So it kind of teetered on, to me, what number 1 was being able to put another person's needs before yours. And then kind of came back with the same vision or belief system, especially if your spouse isn't with that. If you have 2 workaholics, I don't know how much time you're going to spend together. I don't know how great of a marriage that's going to be. It's going to be a great marriage on paper and for your tax returns, with all the money you make, but I don't know how happy you are. And if you got 2 workaholic parents, I don't know what that kid feels like, because, I have friends who work 14-hour days, 7 days a week, just doing whatever they have to do and not doing it in a way where it's like, well, if I don't do this, I'll be fired and I won't have a job. But that's just where their heart is. That's where their number 1 priority is. So it's a big difference between, having to have to do something and work overtime here and there and maybe working a weekend here and there because you have to, because your job calls for it. And even in those situations, if you're finding it that is stressful for your family, then to me, it's time to start looking for a new joint. But again, we're talking about people who that's in their heart. They want to do that. Nobody has to ask them, hey, can you work this weekend? They're volunteering. I don't care about my kid's soccer game. I don't care if I promised my wife or my husband I was going to do this with him or her this weekend. They're going after it because that's their number 1. So that's it for this week. It's been a great series. We've been getting, some feedback on some things, and just always good to know that, Roz and I are dropping some jewels that are prayerfully helping people, and helping married couples and helping single folk make the right decisions before they get married. So next week is going to be number 7. It's going to be wrapping up this series. We also got invited to be panelists at the Black Love Seminar that's coming up Saturday, April 30th. It's going to be in Baltimore at the Hiram Grand at 1207 Utah Place in Baltimore. So keep us in prayer for that. To me, it's always dope to be invited out to speak somewhere. That means we're touching somebody. So that's a great thing. For more information, you could get with 443-220-7500 or RSVP blacklove@gmail.com. So that's going on Saturday, April 30th. I forgot how much it cost offhand and how much it is per couple, but Roz and I again will be panelists talking about communication and marriage. So again, keep us in your prayers. Prayerfully, we do our thing. And as always, tilldeathinfo.com. Good looking for coming through and holding us down. Check you out next week.